Without M, there's no 50. Let's just be honest about that.
Bro,
No,
can
that's
you
not true.
please never say
That's
that
We
not
don't.
ever
true.
again?
We don't
50
get.
was
I
making
don't know if
mixtapes
I
and
could
stuff
We
at that
jack
don't
point.
get.
that.
We don't get rich or die trying without M.
At my crib, I got baddies galore. They just blow all the rest on couture. On the beach, we just chill by the shore. I need MTV Chris for a tour.
All right, Roy.
Unsolved.
Culture question of the week. What's happening?
Culture question of the week this week. We gonna just dwell on, just talk about what white rappers you thought have contributed. What the word I want to say? I don't want to say heavenly.
Let me go to answer this for you now. None. Zero. None of them. Period. We need to stop giving the culture up like it's for everybody else. It ain't for them.
Harsh words spoken by JoJo.
Yeah.
I call it how I see it.
Finish the question, Roy.
Well, just what white rappers you thought have contributed to the culture?
MC Surge.
Third base?
Beastie Boys.
Yeah, MC Surge for third base. Why not?
I like Third Base and Beastie Boys.
I'm just saying, like, we're going to talk about contributions to the culture at the time, right? We're looking at what was going on at the time. This was an actual white rapper who was talking about things that were happening in the African American community at the time, right? So I think if you're going to talk about someone who has influence on the culture, right, you have to look at the allies and the people who actually gave something to the culture, definitely, as opposed to not just taking something back. Like he put out music that was trying to uplift the culture, trying to get people to be better, trying to inspire people.
All right, so I agree with the MC Surge, and he fits the generation from the late like 80s to the middle, like mid 90s,
like 90 something. Yeah.
So what y'all think about nothing after that?
Y'all, I mean, we might not love it, but you gotta give credit to Ice Ice Baby.
Ice Baby?
No, you don't. And let me tell you why. Let me tell you why you don't have to give credit to Ice Ice Baby, because they stole that from the culture. Right, Ice Baby was an HBCU stepping thing. When they would stomp the yard, everybody had their Ice Baby. Even in his video, he had them dancing, doing the steps.
Definitely a full-time Jack move. That was a Jack move. They stole that
from the culture, put a white face on it, and then let it go crazy.
Yeah, because that was like some spoof shit to MC Hammer too. That like Vanilla Ice
was the first culture vulture, like literally. Like he just literally went to an HBCU, seen some brothers stepping.
Him and that nigga Marky Mark. Him and Marky Mark, super culture vultures of the early hip hop. They try to come in and snag hip hop real quick.
Well, that brings up the thing. So like, will we call Drake a culture vulture for, including people who might have originated stuff like Pop Can and having it in his own town?
You can't call him a culture vulture because he's from a different culture, right? He's from Canada, right? So they have their own hip hop culture out there. Like I've been up to Canada, and it's funny because I grew up in Jersey in the 90s, right? So hip hop music, house music, club music, those things were real big in Jersey, and they're real big in Canada too. Like they have that same vibe, that same music, stuff that we in Jersey will only hear in our clubs, you hear in Canada as well, because Canada didn't really have its own established hip-hop artists or hip-hop connections. Their entire culture was formed on getting music from all different places, and then whatever they like, kind of blending it together and playing it on the radio.
Let me say this about Jersey. I visited Jersey once. Y'all are some backwards individuals. Like y'all still wear baggy shit to this day.
Yeah, Jersey is like that. But you know what?
3X t-shirt.
Leave your motherfucking car out there.
Yo, I was like, what? Am I in 2000? Like that shit was real.
Drake is. I think that on the low, I don't know, man. I'm gonna say this on the low. Drake is a culture vulture, but I think at the same token, he has a balanced attack with like taking shit and making it his own, and just what people would call innovation. You know what I mean? So he walks that fine line a lot of the times, I think, and he knows how to straddle that fence very well to make it look like. Because you remember all the shit came out about Homeboy that was writing this shit and all of that, and yeah, you know, like all that shit was hot back then. But I think he gets away with it because Drake is just so hot. So it's like when Hov was taking big lines, niggas was saying shit, but every time he did it, he just made it hot. Like he just made it like undeniable. And I think that Drake has that same type of gift, you know?
Yeah,
so,
but Drake is a little bit different though, because he didn't come in the same way like everybody else did, right? Like he came in with his own sound. He came in with the singing and the hooks and this, that, and the other. And then everybody else followed him.
When he first was
like,
doing
it, you Draking it.
When he first was doing it, he sounded like Joe Buttons, like on the Room for Improvement tape.
He liked Joe Buttons. He said Joe Buttons is one of his favorite rappers.
But
he sounded just like Joe Buttons.
I love Joe Buttons. Shout out to Joey.
Mixed up the hip hop.
Always shout out Joey,
singing
man.
and the rapping.
Yeah, he did do that. He did transition and sound later on. But yeah, when he first came, he sounded like Joe Budden. So he's been kind of taking a little bit for a while now.
Yeah. So we don't think Eminem is given to the culture?
No.
I believe M has made it cool to be weird. That's what M has done.
We don't think Eminem has given to the culture.
I believe
I'm gonna say, hold on. Here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say Eminem has given to the culture. And the reason I say Eminem has given to the culture is because growing up in Newark, right, there was only like a couple white kids around, right? And those was the craziest white kids ever. They always got their ass whooped. They was always in fights. They always had something going on because they was white in the hood, right? And I kind of feel like that was the experience that he had growing up in Detroit, being white in the hood.
Definitely.
And we had never really, as a culture, got any feedback as to what it was to be poor and to be white and in the hood and living with a bunch of black people.
I think that's
Eminem brought that to the culture. I believe he kind of
like if a white rapper that grew up in the hood in Schenectady and he was spitting some relevant shit, like, or we can't say a white nigga that grew up in Harlem, like, because that shit is like super duper rare, like that would ever happen. But in certain like hoods and certain, you know, small cities, that shit do happen.
Yeah,
like,
if a white nigga do it from Harlem, he legendary, bro. That's just over it.
He would, but where he gonna be from? What block he gonna be from?
Stuff like that you can only do once though, right?
But
like,
from Schenectady or like Albany or like a tough town like Rochester, bro, like I can't see it happening nowhere else.
Once, right? Like he did that. Once,
yes.
Right? The culture had their ears open because we had never heard it before. We like,
but no, shout out
what
to.
What is he saying? Do this, da 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 da.
Well,
but if somebody else did it, we ain't want to hear it again.
Well, we kind of. I don't think we call him white because he's mixed. Logic kind of started to, you know, come out of Baltimore, a hard demographic, and you know.
Shout out to Mac Miller, man.
Mac Miller was another like
Mac, because Mac had his own style. That's why I say shout out to Mac. Shout out to Mac. He, to me, I don't know if he contributed too much, but he definitely repped it.
Nah, he did
right way.
Like, as far as my generation goes, Mac Miller is a held cherish. You
know why I give it to Mac Miller? Because on another note, how you said about Eminem, Mac Miller was like the first white young doing it. Mac Miller was putting out mixtapes on his own at like 16, bro. Like that's some Soulja Boy type shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so. Shout out to Mac Miller. He definitely contributed.
Nah, bro, like that time, like Mac and Wiz was really putting Pennsylvania on the map at that time.
Yeah, man. Shout out to what about let's see, we don't got nobody else?
Well, just like revisiting M real quick. Yeah, like M made it cool to be weird. M made it okay to be yourself and rap how you want to rap and say shit that you want to say. And be okay with it. Like some of the shit
it's really weird that you attribute that to Eminem, and it kind of proves my point, right? Where it's like any white person that you can name in the culture that you believe has given something to the culture, they literally have taken something that someone else has already said or have been saying for a really long time, and then they market it to you, and then they get the majority behind them, right?
See, Joe, I was with you.
You know what I'm saying?
I was with you for a minute, but this is where I disagree with you, because I'm with you when you said it's funny that you would say that, because he said that, and niggas like NWA and Snoop and all of them was saying all that type of shit. But wait, hold on. Before that, and we got the gripe, and Tupac. Remember Dolores Tucker, what she tried to do to Pac about the shit? And it's funny that he recognizes that Eminem could say, well, but what's different is Eminem was telling a way different story, bro, than what niggas was talking about. Eminem was talking about Vicodin, his mom's being on Vicodin, kidnapping his bitch. You know what I mean? Niggas wasn't talking about shit like that. Eminem just made it those
Actually, you know what? That's not true. Because if you want to take it to that, talking about that crazy stuff, then you got to give it up to the Ghetto Boys, right? Remember the Ghetto Boys?
Because Big was talking about that too, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Cam has some shit too. That was like Eminem.
I don't think they said it in the same like tone that he was saying it in, because like
Cam had a song.
Like
dude, Big said, "Fuck it, I want to go to hell," and he said, "I'm gonna kill my baby moms. I'm gonna kill my girl." Like he said that already. Like,
that's suicidal
way
thoughts.
Different.
No, that's suicidal thoughts.
Was talking about
Cam has a song that he did in like '96. That's like some Eminem shit. It's called Confessions, and he's like, "Father, I went scuba and ate my doo-doo, and I tried to fuck a poodle." Like, you know how Cam, like, but he has some weird shit.
Did all that too, right? Like DMX.
Nah, it wasn't
and preachy, churchy. Like,
just because it's not the same, it's the principle of the matter, man.
Yeah,
like,
they just revisiting it.
The thing is, like, those guys are saying it in a jokingly manner, though. Like, except like Scarface and the rest of the Ghetto Boys, like, that's a little bit different. We don't give them enough respect, but they were doing it too. But as far as like giving it on a global scale from a white man saying this shit that Dr. Dre saying, nah, we can't put that in there, and then having to put that in there because of how polarizing it is. That's what we're looking at right there.
I see that a little bit though, but I see it like, because M was fucking with, like, talking about the Backstreet. He was attacking a different crowd. In fact, you know what I mean? He had a lot of beef with niggas like the gay and lesbian community at one point too. So he was attacking.
All right. So the one thing I can say about Eminem that I think he did contribute to the culture was he didn't make necessarily rap music for young black kids or young urban kids, right? He made rap music for young white kids, right? And so that's why his numbers went up substantially, because it was rap music. It was good rap music. So anybody who liked music, rap music, and listened to rap music, the black kids was going to bring it in. But because he made it about like white problems, white issues, things they deal with, he drew in an audience of different people and a revenue from different people that was not there before, that necessarily black people may not have been able to do, because we weren't just given a chance. Because he was white and he was gearing to a white audience, there was, he brought in a lot of different generations and different people to hip hop that were not there before, that would not have been open to it, because before it was just a black thing.
It was black
now,
my name is Slim Shady, did numbers.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at him now, he has outsold Jay-Z by far.
So eventually we're going to come to a point where we stop giving away our real estate. And I don't really know how else to explain this to, a group of, like, a younger black man such as yourself and Roy and Kumar. Like, for me, it's just incredibly frustrating when people mention Eminem's name, like, after Jay-Z, as if they belong in the same sentence somehow. Like,
I'm saying we're not going to talk about what he did on Renegade?
No, we're not, because it didn't happen. Like, Jay did not get washed on that song. It's not true.
Well, who carried that?
You see what I'm saying? You see how the white man's...
Let's be honest here. That's the thing. On Renegade, who carried that song?
I think it was equally matched.
Yeah, it wasn't a wash. Everybody brings that up. Like it's like the one song where Jay didn't like give like 100% effort. But it's like he didn't get killed on his own song.
Right, but that's in the era where we said if we hear one person on the track with another person, we're going to put them up together and see who did better.
So you're telling me that you think that Eminem's had a better career than Jay?
Over too.
Exactly. Like we're going to see.
Yeah, because it was a competition. People would do their verses over. Like they would do a verse, hear the song with somebody else's verse, and be like, "Oh no, hold on, I gotta redo my verse."
And I think,
and we're not trying to hear that. You're not on your A game shit. You either bring it or you don't. We're gonna talk about.
And let me tell you this.
But Joe, I agree with you though, Joe. Like we shouldn't give our real estate up. Like I understand what you're saying in terms of.
But listen, check this out. I think that for that Renegade song to just jump right, I think that Jay let that shit happen like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
let me tell you though, because he's one of the great business minds. I don't think it was so much about him. It was about, yo, if I got him on my album and I let him go off, this shit gonna sell. Like, and I think that was the motivation to that. I think that it wasn't a true, battle, or
But like, then you look at it, he's giving up real estate because
not at all, because he already told you he's gonna dumb down his message to double his dollars.
But
listen, and this is what ties it all together, because this is what I was saying earlier, like why I agree with you in terms of giving up real estate, and why I put Eminem in the contribution category, because he brought the culture to the masses, right? In a way that I don't necessarily feel that any black person had done before. I don't feel that there was a black artist before that was making rap music for young white kids. I don't believe that there were rap artists before who were specifically targeting that group and audience, right? So I think by him doing that, he contributed a advertising, more or less, worldwide, globally, for the culture, which opened a lot of doors for a lot of people who were better than him, who could do more than him, who needed someone to open that door. Because at the end of the day, when you're talking about giving up real estate and this, that, and the other, you're talking about, things that you've built and things that your culture and the people behind you continue to build upon, right? Mm-hmm. So the black culture has created hip hop. They built it, they marketed, they branded, they built it up, but they couldn't get it to go global because of the racism and the systemic things that we have going in our society.
Just like Dapper Dan.
And
exactly.
Then,
so by him coming in and globalizing what was going on, he allowed everybody else to kind of thrive and have a larger audience than they had before. So I don't think that's giving up real estate. I think that's acknowledging the racism within the system, and that sometimes we do need to have some doors open in order for us to get in certain rooms.
All right. And then lastly, his biggest contribution that we probably never even mentioned, without M, there's no 50. Let's just be honest about that.
Bro, can you please never say that
we don't get,
I don't know if I can jack that.
We don't get rich or die trying without M.
Bro, knock it off. What are you talking about?
Nah, I can't jack that.
Without M,
50 had other offers, bro.
But the thing is, we don't get 50 and Dre. That's what y'all missing. We don't get 50 and Dre if M don't.
But we still get G Unit. We still get
the same 50.
We still get Guess Who's Back mixtape.
But we don't.
That shit was hot.
We don't get one of his best bodies of work and get rich or die trying.
Guess Who?
You don't
Back
think that
mixtape is
gonna make that regardless?
But
he's gonna make it. But I'm saying we don't get
because the nigga that made Guess Who's Back.
We don't get the same thing. We might talk about it a little bit different, but we don't get.
We just don't get. I don't know what you heard about me. We don't get shit like that. We don't get.
No, we get it. We get it in a different way.
Yeah, like.
Well, that whole Get Rich or Die Trying was by Dre mainly, so we don't get that same.
But hold on. That's like saying we don't get Drake without Lil Wayne and Birdman.
Right, we don't get Drake.
But Drake. But hold on.
Yes, we do. That's
Drake,
a fact.
Years before Wayne and Birdman was auditioning for T.I. He was auditioning for other people. Like T.I. talked about how he wished he would have signed Drake when he auditioned for him, but he wasn't into that sound.
That's like saying
when you look at it.
So hold on. These people are in control of their own career. 50 was still putting out mixtapes. He was still doing stuff. We might not have had that classic, but maybe we had a different classic if we went another way. Like, I don't think you can contribute one man's success to another. Like,
Yeah,
Right, but I'm just saying it's hard to get that same sound that we hold so near and dear with somebody else. That's the thing. And then we look at Drake. Drake, without Wayne, we really don't get Drake because he even goes into detail where it was a studio and whoever he was with at the time with Cash Money, because Wayne wasn't there at the time, I believe, so they had to call Wayne or something. But they're saying, nah, we're not bringing 40 in. We're not flying 40 from Canada over here to record with Drake. And then Wayne said, nah, do that. Whatever he needs, make sure he's good, get what he does. We don't know if T.I. does that same thing or whoever T.I. works with treats Drake in that same light. So we might not even get the same thing we get from Drake. So that's where we definitely owe to these people for these people's contributions. We cannot leave them out of their story.
All right, I understand what you're saying.
I get it.
Okay.
But by the same token, if that's the case, then we don't have M without Dre. So it still
Right.
comes back to our
That's what we always say. We don't have M without Dre. Because who was really looking at M at that time? It was just Dre. Dre said, this is white boy. He spits crazy. I need to get him on some shit.
And that's a whole nother problem, but whatever. I'm over it.
Joe, you racist, bro. We already.
I don't have. I'm not. I'm really not. It makes me sad inside. That's all.
White man can
Joe, a lot of culture, man. You're supposed to love the culture, man.
Supposed to love the culture, but come on, y'all. If we don't open up doors,
it's such a prolific one. You know,
it's hard to get certain people to come on to it.
It's giving, bro.
I believe you. I believe you. Everything you're saying is true.
At my crib, I got baddies galore. They just blow all the rest on couture. On the beach, we just chill by the shore. I need MTV Chris for a tour.